What's better than a babysitter? Well, when I was growing up, my parents never got a babysitter because they used to take me to the bookshop. I learned to read at a very young age, and my parents would go shopping and leave me in the bookstore knowing that I wouldn't run off because I would be fascinated by all of these books. Anyhow, speaking of books, today we are going to be reviewing Alex Hormozi's $100 million offer, which is a really great book. Now, I was introduced to Alex Hormozi by somebody else, a very good friend. He suddenly appeared on my radar and he was very, very hot for a while. I haven't heard as much about him recently, but he gives a lot of free content, does a lot of really amazing videos, has some free online tools and courses as well. And I really love the business model that he uses, in which he gives a lot of really amazing things and wants to work with people once they've reached a certain level. So I really admire him for that. Interestingly, the book is actually only 99 cents on Amazon. My parents didn't need a babysitter for me, but do you know who does need a babysitter? Most business owners. We know the technical ins and outs of what we're doing. We know how to make the widgets and do all of the things, but making a business and actually getting clients to come and all of the other things that are related to business are sometimes really challenging. And one of the most important parts is to have a really good offer. A lot of people offer something very average and don't get anywhere with their business for that reason. So 100 Million Offers is a really great book. Now, let's have a look at the book itself. So he starts out by talking about, obviously, his history and the positives and the negatives and the things that have happened for him. And then he goes on to talk about Grand Slam offers and what a Grand Slam offer is and how it differs from everything else. He talks about how to price your offer in order to be able to make sure that your offer is going to be at the right price point so people are interested. A very important thing that a lot of people forget about. And then he talks about the right market. So we're talking about all of the marketing piece here. Price, person, etc. And in this case, he talks about what he calls a starving crowd. And he's not talking and teaching you how to start a business that is average. He wants you to start a business that is going to make a lot of money. I know plenty of people who did things that they didn't enjoy, but I also know plenty of people who ended up starting businesses that there was no way that that business could possibly make a lot of money. So you want to make sure that you're in the right business. You want to make sure that you know what your goals are. If you're happy with average, then that's fine. You can start any type of business and it will allow you to get to your goal of an average income, and you can replace your income from whatever it was that you were doing. But if you want to be truly extraordinary and if you want to achieve really amazing things, then you want to find the right audience, and that's what he talks about in that chapter. Next, he talks about charging what it's worth. And a lot of people forget to do this. A lot of people go very low ball and they're not really too interested in not overcharging, but charging higher amounts, even though we can and we should. And he talks about why that is the case. He also talks about his value equation and how he does these calculations on how to provide really high value, and that in turn allows you to charge such high prices. He talks about free goodwill and the thought process behind the value offer. And he then also has a chapter on creating your Grand Slam offer and runs you through the step-by-step. So he talks about problems and solutions. Then in part 2, trim and stack, how to enhance the offer. And he adds in a couple of bonuses for enhancing the offer. He talks about scarcity. He talks about bonuses, urgency, guarantees, and how to even name the offer. And finally, he talks about how to get to the $100,000. And he's not talking about $100,000 that is coming in from the business and needs to be paid out to somebody else. He talks about his goal of getting to $100,000 on the bank, personal money that he's taken out of his business that he does not have to use for payments or anything else, which would allow his wife and him to live for 2 or 3 years without having to work if they wanted to. And he suggests that everybody do the same. This book is amazingly only 99 cents on Audible. And the reason for that is because, as I said earlier, Alex Hormozi's business model is to give almost free content to get people to the $1 million mark. And then he might be thinking about working with them and taking a percentage of the business to take them to $100 million worth of revenue. So I really love the business model, and the book being only 99 cents fits in really well. I tend to find that it makes him very authentic and very believable. So I really love Alex Hormozi. And on top of that, he also has a very good communication style, and the book is written in a way that is very easy to read, and it's very clear and easy to understand. Now, when it comes to what you're going to get out of this book, you are going to get so much out of this book. It is very, very detail oriented. So there are a lot of things that explain the how-to of what it is that you're doing. I've actually used this book with a number of people to go through step by step and work with them to implement what they've been learning from that book. And the interesting thing is that a lot of people that I've worked with have achieved some really amazing things by going through this book step by step with my guidance. And I'm even thinking of whether I should set up a Alex Hormozi club where we can all meet online and work through the process step by step. I love this book so much because it really has all of the most important elements. He's also a great storyteller. There are some really interesting, compelling stories in here of how he has implemented all of the lessons that he has picked up over time. And he also talks about, very authentically again, all of the mistakes that he's made and the challenges that he's had. So you are going to have literally a blueprint that you can use and follow. And I attest to that because I've done it with other people. And you can follow that blueprint to be able to create a really compelling offer and get some really amazing results. So I would be very surprised if you don't get amazing results and are able to create a really compelling offer that people will want to be a part of and get you on the road to business success. So I have to go over the 5 out of 5 for this one. It is a great book, and in conclusion, you are going to literally be able to create something that stands out from the crowd and have something that people are going to be drooling over when it comes to your business. One of the things that I notice the most is that most business owners who are very successful stand out from the crowd. So this book is going to help you out with that, and we'll put some links so that you can also buy the book and get the benefits. Get in touch and leave me a comment if you would like to be in a reading club together with me where we actually go through and implement some of the learnings from these books. I would love to start with Alex Hormozi's $100 million offer. So for all of you business and budding business owners out there, this is something that I think you can greatly benefit from, and we will create that offer together, going through the Alex Hormozi steps, step by step. So make sure you click that link and leave a comment. I really appreciate you being here, and I love doing these reviews for you. I'm looking forward to doing the next one. I already have a couple set, but if you'd like me to do a review of a certain kind of book, get in touch and let me know. And finally, before I start heading off, remember to make the switch to unlock your rich. If you do the same thing in the same way, you're going to get the same results. So do something a little bit different. The first time around it might not work. The second time around it might actually get you a worse result. But eventually you're going to find that thing that gets you amazing results. So keep at it. There is a shortcut and a better way, a more effective way of doing absolutely everything. So go and make that switch, unlock your rich, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for joining.